But no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Twitter got busy. It still is. Nothing done yet. I don't think one way or the other in regards to your head coach, Louisville's head coach, and what it is. But boy, everybody's tired. I can't tell you how much my phone rang yesterday, and everybody just wants to talk about Pitino. And I'm like, dude, I do 3 hours of this in the morning. Call me in the morning. And but everybody, like, I mean, if I showed you my phone log yesterday and how many people it was who just wanted to talk about Pitino, and I'm like, well, I kind of told you what I know. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck in DC. Good morning. How you living?
Oh, what it do?
I do a lot. It blew up yesterday. The number to get in if you want to blow it up today, 505-246-0610. Emails jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. All right, here's what I know. JJ, I do know that Richard Pitino has spoken to Louisville. I do know that. And I do know that he was in town yesterday. A couple of people told me that he was at football practice, and so he was here. Now, I've not spoken with Richard. I've not spoken with anybody at Louisville, but there's obvious interest. It's really interesting, you know, what some people write and what people say, right? And be careful what you believe. And you know, we got that call yesterday, DC, somebody claiming to be from a radio station in Louisville. Well, there was a radio station in Louisville reporting that Pitino was on a plane. Well, he was here. He was at football practice. That doesn't mean he won't be or whatever. But there's interest. There's obviously ties there. Richard's dad, Rick, was the head coach there. Richard was the assistant coach there, won a national championship. The money is JJ, the money's going to be between $3.5 $4 million a year. Period. I mean, you know, you're paying him 1.2, maybe you can up it to 1.4. What are you going to do? And if that happens, you say best to you and thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's always frustrating when it gets to this point, but it's the reality of a lot of the Mountain West. Like the Leon Rice situation is where he's there. How long has he been there?
Like 14 years or something like that.
Like that, those are few and far between. And anytime jobs open up where it's double the salary, guys are going to take it. You just look at Utah State. Danny Sprinkle won in time to go to Washington after he had an incredible season. And he gets, I think, close to like a $22 million contract overall signed with the Huskies. And it's frustrating as fans. It's upsetting as fans. But what you look at is if you are in that situation, what do you have as a base? Mm-hmm. And for the Lobos, what Kurt Roth has done, building an NIL collective, is very good. It's what you need to do to compete in college athletics right now, and especially against your peers in the Mountain West Conference. Fan base is re-engaged. You got a reminder that you can win at a high level at the University of New Mexico. You can get a building that is an unbelievable place to play environment for everyone involved, and you're just going to have to deal with it. When you have success, this comes with the success. Not fun when you're a fan, but it's storylines that you have to deal with.
And I know there's Lobo fan, and I heard this yesterday. Well, what's success, right? I mean, they finished sixth place in the Mountain West 2 years in a row. Yeah, but they cut down nets. They got to the NCAA tournament and where the program was. And this particular job, I mean, it's not like a secret that it's been a number of people that have turned it down. Louisville is a storied legacy program that is really hit hard times in the last few years. And the history, look, Rick Pitino got fired there. Richard's dad got fired. There was, I mean, the controversy, all the stuff. It's public. Rick sued the university, right? So there's history there. I think there's a piece that the AD feels you might heal a lot of those wounds by bringing back a Pitino. Maybe there's something to that. Now, is Richard getting it just because his name, as some people have said? Like Richard's done a nice job at New Mexico. I don't think it's arguable taking what this program was 3 seasons ago and or 3 years ago and doing what they've done in 3 years. But I think we would all be probably undervaluing the brand name, the brand value and the history with that family and that coach and that university, right? I mean, look, you talk about coaches all the time. Bronco Mendenhall, remember when Bronco came back here? Well, Bronco was here. Remember, he was the defensive coordinator. He came back. Well, Richard was on the bench, yes, with his dad, but he was there. He was part of that staff that won a national championship, right? So the brand value, is that part of it. So we'll watch it. I don't even know what we're watching anymore. I mean, you just got to be careful what you're watching, but everybody's talking about it. But we'll take your calls at 505-246-0610. Art, I know you want to get us started on it. Good morning, Art. You're on The Sports Animal. How you living?
I'm living well. Thank you, Jeff. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you said, I'm kind of in between because I think if he goes, UNM will probably lose Dan Toppin. I think he's going to take some of the good players here, and they will probably follow him because that gives them more notoriety and a chance to even make their name larger for NBA scouts and so forth. And it's just frustrating because, I know we have to get good coaches, but darn it, man, it's just, you get a good coach and they take half your damn team. And I think if he has to change on the fly again, damn it, New Mexico, you need to come up with some money and find somebody that wants to be here. I don't know if we can get another Rice situation here, but something has to be done because this is crazy. But, I think both sides really need to get their head in the game right stinking now. That's all I got to say.
I appreciate you, Art. That's a raw call. And I'll tell you, there's only so much you can do. New Mexico, with all due respect, there's only so much you can do. Now, what does that mean? You don't have the football money. And this is where, when I tell you football drives the boat, they're in the ACC. They don't have SEC money, but they don't have Mountain West money either. And so they've got a lot more money. You can't pay your coach that kind of money. You just, right? You can't. And so $1.2 million is a pretty good salary. 3.5 or 3.8 or whatever they're going to throw at their next coach. You can't do it. You don't have that money. Why? Because the TV money that's coming in for football and the revenue that's generated for football when you're in the ACC. And that's why being in a power football conference mattered so much. And you're feeling it. You felt it when Alfred left, man. You were paying him, I want to say it was right about 1.2, and they paid him, 2.6, right? To go to UCLA. He made $16 million. So, Art, I hear your frustration, and I hear people, well, we have $3.5 million in reserves, and why can't we use it on a basketball coach? And then there's other going, what are you talking about? I've read all kinds of stuff. JJ, Mark Ziegler, who writes for the San Diego Union Tribune, has put out there that Patino's made it clear he wants out of New Mexico. And he tells everybody he loves it there. And everybody says something. I don't know what he's basing that on, right? Now, do I think you ever plan on staying here forever? No, man. I think
anyone does.
I think we all saw this coming. I mean, JJ, it was last offseason, he was standing right here. He talked about when he turned down the South Florida job, right? And it was 1.8. And I said, yeah, but you're gonna have success this year, and you're gonna get a $3+ million job, right? I mean, I don't think that was any secret. I think it's a little surprise if it happens. And again, I don't know that Louisville's offered him the job. JJ, I firmly believe if they do, he goes. Don't you?
Yeah, at this point,
you're more hesitant than I thought you'd be on that.
Well, it's one where you look at Louisville and they're grasping at straws right now, and
is he the straw?
I think they're still waiting on Indiana State,
and they won last night,
candidate.
Right? And they won last night
in the NIT, enrolling with Jake Schultz. So this is something that I don't think is going to be solved next 24 hours.
Well, that's the other thing. The buyout goes down after Sunday. The buyout before April 1st, I think, is $1.2 million, and it goes down to $750,000. Well, and I think we're talking pennies to Louisville. It probably means a little bit to New Mexico, right? Mark, you're on The Sports Animal. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good. How you living?
I am living good. So I think I have an answer for our coaching situation.
Yeah, what's that?
So every few years, we're successful, and somebody comes and picks our coach. And I look at it now to just enjoy the ride, because eventually somebody. But I think I have a name for you who grew up here, who lives here, whose family is here, his wife's family here, and he is actually an NBA assistant head coach.
Okay.
And that name is James Borrego.
It'd be
So
an
James
interesting.
grew up in Westgate, and he is a name here, and he grew up here. And I think you need somebody that has ties here that is not going to get up and leave, because this man has been all over the country. He was the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets.
Yep.
He's currently with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yep.
So I think so we don't repeat this. Now, whether New Mexico could afford him, because I know he makes a lot of money in the NBA. I mean, for God's sake, he worked for Michael Jordan. But so we don't keep repeating these every few years. I would love to see James come in and take over the head coaching job.
Appreciate it, Mark. And we're going to have this conversation if we get to that point. Thanks. We're going to get into it a lot if he leaves. Then who's going to be the next head coach? And James Borrego would be somebody that comes up. Right now you have a coach, right? Right now you have a coach, and it's where it is. But JJ, I don't know that it's going to stop. To be honest with you, I just. What is Lobo Fan? Lobo Fan wants what? Leon Rice? They want a guy that's going to be here successful. Going to be here 14 years.
Of course.
I think everybody probably does. You want a guy that's just going to say, I love this place. I fell in love with it. I want to build something here. I want to make this what San Diego State is, what Gonzaga is, right? I mean, and what Dayton is in some respects. Gonzaga and San Diego State have had stability. Mark Few's been there 20-plus years. Steve Fisher and Brian Dutcher have been there 25 years. But Dutcher's contract's just north of $2 million now, right? And they just locked him up for like ever. The buyout's crazy. Look around your league, man. Utah State's gone through how many coaches in 3 and 4 years? Right? They had Craig Smith. They had
Ryan
Odom, and Ryan Odom was there 1 year, right? Then he went to Wake Forest. Danny Sprinkle.
Ryan Odom went to VCU.
VCU, yeah, and he got him in the NIT this year. But he was there 1 year, right? And then this guy was here 1 year. And Craig Smith was there 2 before he went to Utah. I mean, I hate to tell you this is the life of where you are, because I know Lobo Fan wants to believe this program is so accelerated. But we're going to have this conversation if Richard leaves, and we had it when Steve Alford left. What's best for your family? When somebody comes and says, "Hey, man, here's an opportunity," and Louisville is maybe not UCLA, but not far behind in tradition, right? Right? If somebody says, here's $3.5 million a year, come coach, and what would you say? What would you do? You don't have ties to the community. You've been here 3 years, but it's not where you're from. It's not where your family's from. You've done a good job, and somebody's offering you, I don't know, it's $3.5 million a year over 5 years. So that's what, $18 million, whatever the number is. Is that life-changing money to you? It is to me.
I'm not sure what his career earnings are, but I'm sure that's substantial.
Look, he's doing okay.
He's doing
right.
Doing well.
He can take a vacation, send his kids to private school if he wants. He's okay, right? But there's always more. We can continue the conversation. It's still out there. And I agree, JJ. I think you're right. The Indiana State thing is a piece of this, and they're still playing, and their coach is in the mix in this. But we'll have the conversation. 505-246-0610 as Richard Pitino's name continues to be floated as one of the top targets of Louisville, a place where certainly his family have history. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito, he's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado, be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello.
It's me.
Hi, mijo, where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-89.
Animal.
Now, I want to address one other thing. Art said in the first call this morning. How'd this thing get broken? I didn't do that. Just for the record, say this, it's already broke. It wasn't me. What? Why are you looking at me? You know how it goes around here, right? It wasn't me. I don't know if there's a guarantee anybody's staying. Do you? I mean, everybody, you know, I know there's a real nervous feeling, as there should be, around JT Toppin and Donovan Dent and what's going to happen. And you feel that, you know, if there's a coaching change, then they're gone for sure. And that may or may not be true. I'm not certain, JJ, that if there's not a coaching change, that they're staying for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a chance. I've heard all kinds of stuff, as you have. I'm careful what I listen to and what I agree in, but you know, I think you got to be nervous one way or another with those guys every single year. And that's, look, as much as people are poaching, and that's been a word, poaching your coach, they're hovering around your players too, man.
Rich Pitino said it, and it goes for everyone. They're all free agents. Not just the players, everyone.
Yeah, I just think that's the reality of being, you know, what you are, who you are. And I don't know that it's just you. I mean, one of the names that's circulating around the Louisville job is Eric Musselman in Arkansas. That's a SEC high-paying job, right? There's, you know, the SMU job's open. There's a lot of names circulating around that. Andy Enfield at USC is a name. That's and again, I'm throwing names out there just to show you that I tell you this all the time. I believe every job is a damn stepping stone. I do.
Every job can be a stepping stone. Yes.
I mean, didn't Roy Williams go from Kansas to North Carolina?
Yes, he did.
In Kansas, one of the premier programs. So every job's a stepping stone. But I know the frustration that you're feeling. I'm not telling you it should ease your frustration. As you're feeling it now, you finally had a little success after a decade, and you want to keep going. JT, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, JT.
How's the Sports Animal family today?
Life's grooving. How you living?
Oh, just driving. You know me.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, so Jeff, would you say that UCLA and Louisville are storied programs in the history of basketball?
Yes.
So these people that hated on Alfred, okay, I don't know what their problem was, but we're all trying to take care of our families now and in the future, right?
I believe so.
Oh, okay, so these power conferences have 3.5, 4 million, in their ashtray. Okay, that's the starting point. Okay, I'm not, just because someone's from New Mexico, I mean, that doesn't mean they're staying either, right? We all want more. We all want more for our families, right? So there's no guarantee someone from New Mexico, it's just great making this money. If you start winning, obviously someone's going to double or triple your income. So I don't hate on anybody for bettering their family. So what if we win every 3 years and a power legacy team comes and takes our coach? So what? We'll start again. They're not leaving to Richmond or Duquesne or South Florida. They're leaving to these programs that are seeing what we're doing here in New Mexico. They're seeing, they're taking, and that's fine. Patil, he's not from here, but I don't think, like you, I don't think he was going to stay here forever. He's from the East Coast, which he'll probably end up somewhere over there in his life. So just, people chill out. We'll get a good coach if he leaves.
Yep.
I personally am saying right now he's not leaving. So I'm the one. So I might be wrong, but I don't think he's leaving. But if he leaves, we'll get another good coach and we'll be good, and some program will come and take him again. But that's his vision. That's it. He's doing it for his family. So we can't hate on anybody. We just keep rolling however we roll. Somebody is going to eventually maybe stay 10 or 15 years, but that would be great. But let's just keep supporting and keep being there for our Lobos. Have a good one.
See you. All right. Couple things there. And I when you're losing guys, it is interesting if this happens. And again, this isn't done yet, and this is rumor. It may not happen. And there's still a lot of names, including Richard Pitino, whose names are being tied to the job at Louisville. But JJ, when you get it is interesting if this happens. I mean, the last two times this would have happened would be UCLA and Louisville. Those are two big name, high end programs. Here, I'll give you another example of poaching. San Diego State plays tomorrow, correct? They're still alive in the Sweet 16. Chris Acker, their top assistant, is said to be taking the job at Long Beach State, which, if you follow the breadcrumbs here, makes a ton of sense. The new athletic director there, who's been getting pounded in the media for the Dan Monson thing, is Bobby Smitherin, who just took the job at Long Beach State in July. Former Lobo pitcher, by the way, former University of New Mexico baseball player, was the deputy athletic director at San Diego State and had an obviously relationship with Chris Acker. So a longtime assistant at San Diego State and big part of Brian Dutcher's staff. He's been there 5 seasons. Is now reportedly get an opportunity to be a head coach at Long Beach State. So, I mean, you have success and they're coming to get your guys. And it's kind of what it is. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How you living?
Good morning, fellas.
What's up?
Slow day in the 505, huh?
Nothing going on, man. Let's hope it stays that way.
Listen, there's probably not another person right now in New Mexico that has the ability to stop life in New Mexico more than Jeff Grammer's Twitter account. I mean, anytime that guy tweets something out, I'm just envisioning all the traffic on the interstate just halting. It's like, what did he tweet? What's the update? That kind of power. Hopefully, Grammer's using it. With great power comes great responsibility. Look, I've already seen some Lobo fans after the news broke yesterday, saying F this coach, things like that. Look, there are only 2 ways that this ends. Mm-hmm. Either a coach leaves or a coach gets fired. Yeah.
And you're not happy either way.
Right. And if your coach is fired, it means that your program is worse off.
Yeah.
If your coach leaves for another team, it means that they were successful and they advanced the program forward. And Pitino has absolutely done that for us.
Inarguable.
I mean, it would be absolutely heartbreaking if he left, but we should be grateful that he helped restore our program, helped restore our fan base, helped restore the pit. Gave us that national prominence again that we've been craving for over a decade. And more importantly than that, looking towards the future, he's made this job more attractive now than when he got here. So, we'll see how things play out, but there's only 2 ways that this ends, folks. That's it.
Yep.
So, anyway,
all right.
We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be a busy day on the radio. You guys take care.
Appreciate you. This is an interesting take, too. Josh Scherz, and you mentioned him, the Indiana State coach. Did you watch their game against Cincinnati last night? Cincinnati now of the Big 12. They beat Cincinnati in the quarterfinals of the NIT to advance to the semifinals. And he was talking about scheduling afterwards. And I think you're right. If he's still a candidate for that job at Louisville, this probably holds on till they get knocked out. But he was talking about, they asked the same thing at Indiana State. They play in the Missouri Valley. How come you don't play more high majors? The reason they didn't get in the NCAA tournament with their gaudy record was their strength of schedule. And he said a lot of people wonder why we don't play Power 6 schools at home. Now because they beat them. Nobody wants to go to Indiana State. Nobody wants to go to Dayton. Nobody wants to go to the Pit, right? This is saying you're like, we're not Indiana State, Jeff. You're right. You've never played in a national championship game. No, that's right. Sorry, was that bad? Indiana State's got a great fan base. They sold their place out for the NIT yesterday, and that's why. When we talk about the scheduling. All right, phones are ringing, and we got to take this break because I'm late for it. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Again, no news this morning. Just the continuation of yesterday's rumor mill. Like I told you, I can confirm. Richard Pitino has spoken with Louisville, but he was in town yesterday morning, not on a plane, not there. And is there interest? Certainly from Louisville, it feels that way. I would assume there's interest from Richard. There's a history there, and I wouldn't blame him if there is interest. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for March Madness, from the first 4 to the final 4.
This report brought to you by.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
First on-field practice with his team. We'll get into that a little bit. Lakers beat the Bucks last night without LeBron James on the road. That was a crazy. How about AD playing the way AD played last night? Impressive.
The tease.
Yeah. Tease. Yeah. 505-246-0610. You want to talk about your basketball coach. Richard Pitino's name being floated amongst a target for Louisville. And JJ, I don't know how you feel about this. The longer it goes, the more or less likely it happens. Because to me, it's the less. Although the buyout does go down after Sunday, after April 1.
Buyout goes down, but I think right now, Richard Pitino feels like there's a pecking order and he's not first in the pecking order.
Okay.
And so the longer it goes, are they waiting on someone else? That's entirely possible. And I don't think, a situation like this right now, it's one where you'd be like, oh, it's going to be done in 24 hours. Because there's some jobs open. Now, does it pick up anywhere else? Because you look at Utah State, Washington State, Richard Pitino's not going to Utah State, but I'm saying it's other names are going to pick up traction. Is it names that Louisville's looking at?
Look, if Eric Musselman leaves,
Oklahoma State's open, and Steve Alford's name was already floated out there. So this is what it is. It's rumors.
And if Andy Enfield goes to SMU, which is open now, then SC's open. No, that's right. I mean, one opens, another door. One door closes, another door opens. 100%. Mud, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Mud.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
On the note of JT, I agree with him on a lot of things that he said. I think that, and this is my opinion, I think that, and I'm going to quote Jeff Apodaca, too. I heard him yesterday on a talk show in the afternoon, and he said something that made me think, and I think that everybody should agree on this, that when it comes down to paying our coaches or getting our coaches in here, $1 million isn't going to cut it anymore.
No.
If you look to our neighboring states, a lot of these universities are paying their coaches. If you want to compete, they're paying them from $3 million to at least $5 million. And our legislators, our state people need to stop treating these coaches and calling them state employees. They need to pay them money. If they want the pit filled and they want to make these coaches stay, that's one thing that could happen, because if you allow this to keep on happening, especially in football and in basketball, then you're going to have these coaches use this as a stepping stone. And I know that there's a lot of, like you said, the wall of gold. I mean, Roy Williams left Kansas to go to North Carolina, and I understand that, because there's a lot of coaches that have dream jobs. And if our coaches have dream jobs, then they go. They'll go when that opening happens. But our state has to start paying
market
bigger
value
money.
Well, I just think market value, Mud.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
really hard for people in the state, or any state for that matter, to wrap our head around the money that coaches make. And I get it, and I'm not telling you you're wrong. However, the market value for a big-time, successful college basketball coach is what it is, and it's going up. And so if you want to play at that level, at some point you got to get to market value. Now, does that mean market value in your league? Who do you want to be? And that's what it comes down to, and how can you get there?
Right. Yeah, because I agree. We got to spend money to make, how do you say it?
Yeah, you got to spend money to make money. Yeah. All right, man. No, I appreciate you, bud. Thank you. Because it's a good call, JJ. And, we're going to get that call coming up later that says spend $200,000 and find a coach at New Mexico Junior College or a high school. I know that's coming.
Yeah, so you can finish in last place in the Mountain West Conference.
Right. And you just finished 6th, Jeff. Yeah, but you went to the NCAA tournament. And I know where it's going. But the term to me has always been market value. And it's hard to accept when you're making what you're making and I'm making what I'm making, to step away and say, yeah, but they're playing it's a different world. And why should he make more than the governor, why should he be the highest paid state employee? And if you want to be what you want to be, at some point you're going to have to pay what it takes to play with them.
But you can't pay.
That's right. So you got to compete at the top level of your league.
I think that's the best way to look at it. And there's always going to be that conversation of, is the grass always green on their side? Well, the money's green.
Yeah.
Direct deposit's green.
It's the right color and it's the right size, my grandma used to say. It's the right color and it always fits, doesn't it?
It's frustrating, but with success, this is going to happen regardless.
Brian, you're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Brian.
Hey, guys. Man, I was hoping this conversation, I knew it was coming sooner or later, but I was hoping it'd be later.
Well, it's not done yet. And look, this is all speculative right now. There's nothing done, and there's a chance Richard Pitino stays here and is your coach again next year. I mean, there's still that chance. And I think, it's flattering when your coach is rumored for jobs. It was last year, and the South Florida thing was there, and there were other jobs. That means you're having success. And if he goes, look, man, it's not going to kill your program. It's, is it a step back? We'll see. We'll see what happens next.
No, I agree. The thing I'm wondering, too, I don't know if you can get the athletic director on in the next day or two, but find out what he's doing to counter this.
Yeah. And there's only so much.
I'd be real interested to see what his take is on this.
Yeah, I've had some correspondence with him. There's only so much he can say publicly, and there's only so Brian. There's only so much he can pay. I mean, you get to a point. There's only so much you can do, and can you counter $3.5 million for $3.8 million?
Yeah, no, that's a tough one, man. Yeah. I don't know. He's in a tough predicament, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Okay.
See you. Jay, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jay.
Hey, how's it going? Can't talk this morning. How you guys doing this morning?
Good. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. So I just wanted to just briefly say, so I know, Jeff, you said something earlier, the later that this goes, the
it's
less
my
likely
gut.
it
It's
happens.
my gut, and I don't know that that's right. It's just it's a gut. Do you feel it goes the other way?
I feel it goes either way, and this is the thing. We live in a new era, and the new era of NIL has as much to do with players as it does coaching. And when you have an NIL collective, as Louisville probably does, they probably wield a little power, and they probably wield a little power as far as this coaching search as well.
Right. Yeah, that's probably right.
And the new era, and I heard this on another show, not this fine radio show, but
okay.
Another show, that if an NIL collective is unhappy with the coaching staff, they just cut off the NIL money. And it's a quiet firing. It's not necessarily the firing of a coach where it's publicly done.
You just cut
off a quiet firing. We're not going to help you acquire players, so therefore you won't have the players to actually compete.
Which, by the way, is a really scary concept, because who's running the asylum here? Is it the athletic director or somebody running a collective, which is really, really – is it the university or these private boosters? And that's a really – I'm not telling you you're wrong. And I think it would be cutting off your nose to spite your face. I'm not telling you it doesn't happen or can't happen or won't happen. I'm just telling you it's a bad proposition.
And exactly, I agree. It is very, very scary when you go down that path. And the scary part of that is one university sees that, and we live in.
All right. So what's your point on the? So what's your point on the Louisville thing? You think that the collective wants up the Pitino name, or wants Richard, or you think they're going the other way?
I honestly think that the collective is. You think about this: who runs collectives? Collectives are run by 40 and 50-year-old people who, when they were in college or when they were in love with the program, felt a certain way about a certain person.
They now have a lot of money.
Different, right? It's no different than here. The people that run this collective, they want to reach back to the people that made them feel a certain way. The people who are calling today about Richard Pitino, they're emotional because Pitino made them feel a certain way. And that's what this is. It's not necessarily about results on the court, because you can for every argument of how great Pitino's been at New Mexico, and I'm not trying to bash him, but you can make the argument that he hasn't been. I mean, you have incredible fan support. You have all these things, and
finished 6th in your league the last 2 years. Like, I've heard
right.
that too, right?
Exactly. And Utah State, which is not a program that people here would compare themselves to. In fact, people would look down their nose at Utah State. they've been in the NCAA tournament with 3 different coaches in 4 different years.
And they won a game. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. It's a great call. I got to move, but I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And don't be a stranger.
Thank you, guys.
All right, if you're there, stay there. We get the phones are ringing, and I get it, but we got to hit this break at 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Really good calls today. Really good thought out calls. I got a bunch of emails that I got to get to you as well. So keep them coming at 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. You all right?
Good.
I mean, it's pretty good stuff this morning. You know what's really good is Coleman Vision, and I went there 20 plus years ago. It didn't even feel that long ago. I had LASIK. I had a serious astigmatism, and I was wearing glasses since I was in high school. Dr. Coleman fixed that for me. I was anchoring the news every morning, putting my contacts in, driving in at 3:30 in the morning in glasses, and putting on my makeup and contacts at 4:30, and it was just misery. I hated it. Then the spring would come, my eyes get itchy, the wind, no more. I had LASIK, went to see Stephen Coleman, and it's done. He's a friend, but not only that, he's the best there is. And that's why people come from everywhere to get their LASIK done at Coleman Vision. Stephen Coleman has been doing this for his whole career. He has been instrumental in the technology that is cutting edge, that is used not only here, but globally. That's why everybody comes in to see Dr. Coleman. If you're interested in getting rid of the lenses, glasses, go see Dr. Coleman. It's all at ColemanVision.com. ColemanVision.com, and then call and make an appointment. 505-821-8880, 505-821-8880.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program.
All right, keep them coming. Kind of shows what Lobo basketball is, right? I mean, like other coaches around here have done this, but it's Lobo basketball.
Well, here's a new name in the mix.
What's that?
Appearing on the Jerry Evans radio show Wednesday morning.
Yeah, what's that? Yeah.
Bob Huggins said he wants a Louisville job.
All right, Huggy was run out of West Virginia for DUI was his last thing, right? Yeah. All right. So Musselman's name, Huggy. You said Schertz, the Indiana State coach, is main guy at St. Louis, right? If St. Louis, an Atlantic 10 team, Louisville fan will spontaneously combust. If St. Louis gets the guy that they want, they couldn't because they lost their main guy to Michigan, right? That was Dusty May. There was somebody else took another job. If they lose their guy to St. Louis, they will lose their ever-loving souls. I'm not lying. Because once you're Louisville, once you're UCLA, you're always them, right?
This is a great quote from Huggins. It's a quote, I put butts in the seats for Louisville when I was at Cincinnati.
He did. No, he did. Andy, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Andy.
Hey, good morning. Just some musings this morning.
Muse me.
You know, I don't know why we're worried about a coach. There are so many fans around here that know so much about basketball. Why are we worried about that? We can pick any fan.
Who the hell needs a coach?
And there you go.
That's so right. Who needs a damn coach?
Sorry, I couldn't help that one. Here's the thing. This is the life of a mid-major currently, which is unfortunate. No. Can we pay as much as Louisville? No. Can we up the pay? Yes. But there's an interesting experiment about this. So JJ was saying, do you pay market value? Well, you pay market value within your own league, right? At least to start.
Your market.
Right. If we look at the football program, we were one of the lowest paid. Now we're one of the highest paid. Let's see what happens. If Richard Pitino leaves, which I hope he does because I think he's a good guy and a good coach, and I love his son, by the way. Jack's awesome. Well, his whole family, but Jack's great on TV.
Jill's nice too, and so is Ella. So yeah, that's right. I got you.
If Bronco does what he says he does, and now we went from the lowest to the highest, that at least, or up there, that at least shows what the market value for New Mexico is. So if Richard Pitino leaves, okay, so we hire somebody, pay him what Richard was making, let's say, and if Bronco does really well, now we know what we need to start doing. Not the best way to do it, but it is a really interesting experiment.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I mean, look, you're in a good spot, man. And there's going to be, let me just tell you this. There will be really good coaches who want your job if it opens. If the New Mexico job opens, there will be really good coaches who want it. Now you're going to sit here and say, well, how long are they going to want to be here? If I'd have told you 3 years ago, and when Paul Weir left, right, and you were looking for a job, and Andy, thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
JJ, if I'd have sat here when Paul Weir left and you won 6 games and 4 against Division I teams, Division I teams. I almost said FBS. And I said, hey, Richard Pitino is going to be here 3 years. The pit's going to be packed. You're going to cut down nets. You're going to go back to the NCAA tournament, and then he's going to leave. You'd have said to me what? Yeah, yes. Sounds about right. That'd be great.
What happened?
Right?
Yes.
Now, he's not left yet. I don't know that he is. I don't know that he isn't. Again.
This rumor hits different than South Florida.
Yeah. I think that's right.
So that's when it's Louisville, ACC. Even if South Florida's like, hey, we got $1.8 million, there's still a sense of that's not.
Last year, we're at South Florida with 1.8. Yeah. And look, South Florida is an American team. And by the way, he went in there, the guy went in there and did a hell of a job. And they went to the NIT and damn near won that league and did a hell of a job down there. And their resources and their facilities and everything, I hear, is really good. And they're putting money into basketball. And good for them. Louisville, I don't know. We sit around and we talk about what are the blue bloods. And is Louisville a blue blood? Kind of is, isn't it?
I don't think it is in basketball anymore.
Not anymore. No. So you can lose that.
Yeah.
So is Indiana?
No.
Okay. If Indiana's not,
is Nebraska
in football? I mean, it's
like
you
have money
like
and
legacy,
resources, but it doesn't mean
and a fan base.
anything.
It's a legacy blue blood. So
I think it's a name, but it doesn't mean that there's been consistent.
And I don't even know what blue blood means anymore because we had this conversation last year. It's Connecticut.
It's just like name. Me, it's like a name brand product.
All right. So I will give you these legacy name brands, right? It's Indiana. Maybe some of the big name basketball schools that have struggled, Indiana and Louisville, right? I mean, but you think Kansas, Kentucky, UCLA, Duke, Carolina. Am I missing something? Right? UConn's got to be in there. They just have to be. They just have to be. They're relatively new over the last 2.5 decades, but they've got to be in there now.
So Rip Hamilton did some work.
Seriously.
Mecca Okafor.
Wow. All right. I'll read you your correspondence that you've sent digitally, but we can continue the conversation. 505-246-0610. So really, Bob Huggins said I want the job? All right. Who else?
Name into the ring.
All right. Throw another one. I don't know if they'll consider him. When did he get fired at West Virginia? Was it this last year? It feels like it was yesterday. Was it last calendar year?
I was on the show, so it's within last year.
Last June.
Last June? All right. I mean, is he out of the penalty box yet? Honestly. I mean, how long? Rick Pitino got fired and went overseas and then to Iona, now is at St. John's. At some point, you've paid your penance. Is it not long enough? Dude, I think in a place like Louisville, they don't give a damn. They just want to win. I swear to you, that's my gut. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, DC, and you on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I don't even know what we went through. I just got a text from somebody said Pitino's been a blessing. I said, yeah, no, and he's been a blessing for the phone lines too, for crying out loud, huh? Back there, I mean, it's got you guys buzzing, and I get it, and there's passion. I will tell you this: I'm really impressed with the tone and the content of the phone calls. Not that I ever doubt you all, but sometimes it gets off the rails and emotion takes over, and nothing's done. And I don't know, JJ, which is more likely? Richard Pitino leaves and is the head coach at Louisville, or Richard Pitino stays and gets a new contract and a raise here?
Richard Pitino stays?
You think so? Okay. There's more and more that's going on. This morning, there's a couple of reports. Pat Forty's on it, and and a couple other people. Bob Huggins has made it clear that he wants the Louisville job. I think it fits me perfect. And I know you're sitting there going, hold on, he's 70 and I mean, look, just reading some of the comments, Louisville fans kind of fired up about that because it's a name, and he's won, and he's won at different places. Honest question. And Huggins got fired. The last straw was the DUI, right? But he had done some stuff. He had said some really insensitive stuff, right? And there was this whole theory, and I don't know if it's right or wrong because I only met Bob Huggins twice. That it's passing by. You can't speak the way you speak, anymore. It's old man language. It's words you just can't do that anymore. And the last straw was he got the DUI and he got fired at West Virginia. Honest question, man. How long do coaches have to sit in the penalty box? And I asked the question, Will Wade got fired at LSU. He was successful. It was recruiting violations. I think it was paying players before. I mean, now look at it. He's at McNeese, and I can't tell you how many people have said to me, go after Will Wade if Pitino leaves. They went Will Wade. He's 41 years old. He went 30-2 at McNeese this year. They beat the Mississippi Women's College, remember? Look that up in the Bible studies and whatever. Rick Pitino got fired at Louisville, had to go overseas, came back to Iona. Now he's back in the Big East, and he's back to being a big name. And you don't think of anything, I don't think that's the first thing that comes to your mind, right? Bob Huggins, how long do you have to sit in the penalty box? Greg Marshall's still in the penalty box. He's still out there, right? He hasn't got another job.
I think it's
depends on the offense.
Yes. You can't ignore what it is. Like all those things aren't created equal.
Correct.
Greg Marshall, there's a lot of
abuse allegations,
things with players that crossed the line that was alleged with him in his situation, and you have to take that into account. I wouldn't want to bring stuff like that in. With Bob Huggins, that's an easy stuff. He takes a step back. He can do I took a step back, cleaned everything up, excited, hungry to get back in.
Somebody just said you pay him in 30 packs and Uber rides. Okay, cute. But I mean, you can say, look, he's addressed his drinking issues, and we've taken care of that, and and he's a winning coach and whatever, right? Rick Pitino's stuff was pretty serious allegations at Louisville. It took him a little longer to get back in, right? I mean, it took him, a number of years to get back in. But it feels like there's a timeline on everything. And you start saying some of these coaches, it ruined their career. Well, I mean, I just wonder. But there's another name to throw into the mix. Text line, this is from, I don't even know, but it says, thank you, JT, best call. JT called, I don't know, a half hour ago or so on the Pitino stuff. He says, here's my question. Is Utah State a better program, ? They may have a winning infrastructure, whereas UNM hires coaches that make fans feel a certain way. Results be darned. I don't know. I mean, is this a sacrilege question? You asked it. I didn't. What he just asked, is Utah State a better program than New Mexico?
Basketball-wise, they've been better. But it's also one where you look at, it was good enough to attract Danny Sprinkle, but Danny Sprinkle brought his players with him.
Okay.
And so that's not a Utah State thing. That's Danny Sprinkle.
I think Danny Sprinkle would have taken any Mountain West job because it was a step up from Montana State. He would got paid a lot more, and he parlayed it now into a Big Ten job. Like if New Mexico or Nevada or Air Force would have offered him that job. Air Force is a different cat. Wyoming. I think he would have taken any of those jobs. Don't you?
Yes.
They got a rabid fan base. A building that is really hard to win in if you're the opposition. They go to the NCAA tournament. I mean, I don't know. Where would I rather be? It's a pretty easy answer for me. Do I want to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Logan, Utah? I mean, okay. I've been to Logan. You've been to Logan. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I like it for the weekend.
Yeah.
Or the day and a half we're there.
I don't know, man. I mean, you guys have that conversation. Who's a better program? Carl is in on the email. Jeff at sports@MLABQ.com. Pitino equals Craig Neal 2014. Jeff, remember we had this exact conversation 10 years ago. South Florida, and it was South Florida, went after Craig Neal. Remember that? Yeah, it was South Florida.
Right.
South Florida could come and throw a lot of money around all they wanted. The real threat was if Georgia Tech came snooping. That's where he played. This is the one school Craig wouldn't turn down. It feels like Louisville is that school in 2024. That's interesting, Carl. That's actually not a bad analogy, because absolutely, Craig Neal was up for that South Florida job, and the Georgia Tech job was open as well. And this was Craig coming off his first year as a head coach, and they went to the NCAA tournament. And was he going to go back to his alma mater? Absolutely, that was a conversation. Which feels so distant to go, does it not?
It feels, because it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a decade ago, but I mean, absolutely we had that conversation. Matt's in on stepping stone. He said, Jeff, great point on Roy Williams to North Carolina. Every job is a stepping stone to some other job. At the top, it then becomes the NBA or the NFL. I think a big factor in where, capital WHERE, we are in the pecking order, however, is salary. New Mexico is often referred to as a great job. We pay great for a regular bloke, but in the world of top-flight college basketball, we are very middle of the road. I don't think we'll ever be a lifer that Mark Few type hire so many are looking for without a serious adjustment to the salary. I don't like it, but it's reality. So how do we do that? $5 ticket price bump? $5 times 15,000 equals 75 grand a game. 75 grand times 20 equals $1.5 million. On top of the 1.2 he's making, that's 2.7. It's real hard to walk from when you consider the community support. Massage the numbers however you want, larger price bump, fewer sellouts, etc. You get the point. In my opinion, people will eat that, no question, to get out this merry-go-round. It's from Matt. It's a really interesting concept. Okay? I don't know what you're paying for your tickets. I know there's different levels. What he's saying is, what if? Would you pay $5 more per ticket? So 20 times 5 is 100. You're buying 4 tickets, $400 more a season.
I got one for you, though.
Yeah.
What matters more, 2.7 for a head coach or 2.7 million for NIL?
Really fair question. A really fair question. Or I'll throw another piece.
So that would, if you get to 2.7, you're top 50.
Okay.
In D1 basketball.
Let me throw another. Can I add A, B, or C to that? What's more important? Extra million. Let's just play with the number, $1.5 million. Extra $1.5 million for your basketball coach. Extra $1.5 million for NIL. Or extra $1.5 million for football.
Basketball.
Okay.
In this community, they're.
But
because you know why, Jeff? In the past, I would have said,
yeah,
go for it, because your power conference football that's pipe dream. That's not happening.
Okay. I don't know where I don't know where expansion.
That's not a line drawn in the sand. That is the Great Wall of the SEC and Big Ten.
And I don't know where expansion is going. And there's 2 more years left on the current cycles, and then we're going to see what happens then, and whether there's going to be a reconstruction of the pack. There's talk. I saw the other day. Gosh, if you added, New Mexico was part of this group. I think it was like New Mexico, Gonzaga, San Diego State, and it might have even been Nevada, but I don't think it was Nevada. It was somebody else. To the Big 12, what a basketball league would be. Yeah, but you got to take the whole thing. I just drew you an example in the first hour why football's so important. Like Louisville may not care about football. They may go 8-4 every once in a while or compete, but it is allowing them to say, we want your coach, and we'll give him $3.5-4 million. All that money isn't coming.
It's the league they're in.
It's the league. No, that's right. That's right.
And I don't think any of these schools,
Ever.
San Diego State, Boise State, like even if they redo the Pac-12, you maybe doubling the TV money you have now.
But you don't think success? So you think continuing to be bad in the Mountain West?
Well, I don't think that television contract is
going to get better.
Going to be a game changer.
But more, there's revenue available in football. All right, I just want to throw that in, and if that's the answer, that's the answer. I just want to A, B, or C. I'll accept it. I
don't think this Big 12's there.
Yeah.
So it would be.
No, Big 12's at 18 schools now.
So if after these 2 years, Washington State and Oregon State do their thing. If they try to rebuild the Pac-12, it's not going to be $25-30 million.
No.
Cool.
But will it be more? All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. I got a bunch more emails from you that I got to get to. Again, nothing new this morning that I've seen anywhere other than Bob Huggins has made it clear that he now wants the Louisville job. I don't know if that's going to be a serious consideration. I mean, let me ask you this. You're the AD at Louisville, and you were focused on Schurz and maybe on Pitino and then this is interesting. And then Bob Huggins throws his name into it. Are you listening?
Got to make that phone call.
All right. And this just came down, a report of a big coach, one big school to a school that maybe doesn't appear as big. Give you that next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Animal.
And how many fan bases are sitting around right now going, what about our coach? Well, we need that guy. Well, no, don't take our guy. Well, if our guy leaves, what are we going to do? Report, and I'm only seeing it one place, but Andy Enfield, the SC coach, USC, Southern California, has been rumored at SMU. SMU's got some money to throw around now, too. But there's a report that that's imminent. Now, I only see it one place. I see it as him being a candidate. But again, there's just, then the SC job's going to be open. They're going to want Brian Dutcher. They're going to want, right? I mean, yeah. How about Jay Wright at SC, by the way? You don't like that? The former Villanova coach who's good on TV? Yeah.
It never hurts to call.
Do you believe Jay Wright's done as a coach?
I think Jay Wright's pretty uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sure he is, dude. I'm sure he's got more money than he knows what to do with. He's still getting suits, really good-looking suits. He's on TV. He hasn't lost a game in a couple of years. Yeah. But coach is coach, man. Coaches get that itch. And somebody's going to throw a boatload of money. It's going to be a place like SC who's got a boatload of money. Who's going into the Big Ten.
Absolutely be starting there.
I mean,
hire like that, yep.
Or if UCLA loses Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin's up for, I mean, what job did I see him up for? He didn't get the Michigan job. There's a number. Indiana? whatever it is. But I mean, those guys with that money, they're going to the Big Ten to make a splash. Jay Wright makes a ton of sense, doesn't it? And him in LA just feels right. I don't even know why. Fred, yeah, I do. Fred, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Fred?
Hey, guys. Hey, they did a story about Tom Izzo, about what he started making back his first year, and it was $570,000. Now he's making over $6 million. He's fourth or fifth in the list of all the coaching around America. But I was looking at all the names of, and this was in the USA, all the schools, out of 90 schools they listed, and what's really sad is there's only, New Mexico's not even in there, included in the 90. But they have Brian Dutcher at $2.3 million. They have Springo at $900,000, and they have Steve Alford at $1.2 million. And then when I started looking at the schools, I counted all the names of the schools. There was 90 schools that they put in the paper, and of course there's many more than that. But out of the 90 schools, 70 of them are getting over $2 million. 57 are getting over $3 million. 14 are getting over $4 million. I mean, it just tells you where we're not, you know. And I don't know how
you're on that. It just wasn't
the
reported.
Mountain West.
It would have been on that.
Yeah, they didn't list any of the Mountain West teams even in here.
Well,
because,
all right. So I don't know when that was, Fred, because Patino's at 1.2, Dutcher's at 2.6, Alford's at 1.2. So I mean, there are a few on there, and New Mexico's at the top, the top third of their league. Dutcher just got re-signed this year, and it was retroactive for this year at about 2.6. Alford, it's been known that he's been making about 1.2, and Richard's making about 1.2. So, I mean, whether it's on the list, I don't know what the date is, but after that, the rest of the league, like, I don't know what Leon's making and those guys, but
they haven't put any of the other Mountain West teams in here, and I'm sure they're over $1 million. I mean, under $1 million probably, Wyoming and Air Force and so on and so forth. But I just want to tell people, like, we've got to come up with at least a couple $1 million to even have a chance of keeping a coach. And that's how I was calling about, just to let everybody know we're not even in the ball game. So,
you're on that.
Anyway,
you would have been on that list.
Talk to you later.
I don't know what so he's talking about the USA Today coaching list.
Yeah.
Where they get salaries. Not being on there doesn't mean anything. It just means it wasn't reported. Because it's not, if Steve Alford's making about the same amount of money as Richard Pitino, he's on the list. They just didn't get Richard Pitino's contract to put in the story. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, there was a story when Brian Dutcher signed his deal, and I'm sorry, it's $2.3 million a year, and this is just a couple months ago. Maybe what's the date on this? It's like a month ago, March 6th. So it's this month, for crying out loud. He gets $2.3 million a year, and it's retroactive. He was making 1.4. Okay. Next highest paid is Steve Alford in the Mountain West at $1.55 million at Nevada. Okay. Now, Dutcher's deal comes with $100,000 annual raises. So he'll get up to 2.7. His buyout went up from $3 million in his old deal. His buyout, if SC wants him, Brian Dutcher's buyout at San Diego State is $10.2 million. Contrast, Richard Pitino's right now is $1.2 million. After April 1st, it goes down to $750,000. Okay, that's what they just got into. But look, again, to kind of what Fred was saying, and this is market. Now, whatever market you think you're in, that 2.3 ranks Dutcher 54th in the nation. Chris Jans is at 2.4, right in front of him. What's the top? John Calipari is at $8.5 million. Arizona just signed Tommy Lloyd to $6 million a year. Mick Crone is making 4.1, thinking about leaving. Andy Enfield, who we were just talking about leaving at USC to go to SMU.
Is Mick Crone thinking about leaving, or are they hoping he leaves?
Well, I think he had one bad season at UCLA. You know how that goes.
He was
a
mess.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Complaining about everything.
Andy Enfield, $3.5 million at SC, and the word is this morning he's going to SMU. What's he making? Washington just fired Mike Hopkins, $3 million. Wayne Tinkle at Oregon State, 2.6. Just West Coast schools. Just kind of where you are. I'm not telling you got to get there. Look, understand who you are. You want to be the top of your league. And I think where New Mexico is in their league, it is. Les says the buyout's not an issue, Jeff. Every government employee I know has 1 million hours of vacation and sick leave in the bank. I'm sure this guy can take paid leave until April 2025 when the buyout drops. I mean, you know why it's not an issue? Because 750 to 1.2 million to Louisville's going to, yeah, whatever. That's why. Mike says, reply to Art, Jeff Alou, Pitino has been at or near the top of the Mountain West Conference since the day he walked on campus. He's gotten paid. When your total men's basketball ticket revenue is $3.5 million, you aren't paying any coach that much. So let's go back to that concept. Do you think Lobo fan, what the emailer said earlier, I'll ask you this, Lobo fan. You buy tickets. Would you be willing to spend $5 more tickets? So you're buying 4, it's $20 a night. You're buying season tickets, it's basically $400 more for 4 tickets. You willing to spend an extra $5 a ticket to generate somewhere in the area of $1.5 million to pay a coach in that ballpark? Who's that coach, man? I mean, that's one way to do it. It was just a suggestion.
It's interesting because you look at that salary range and you got Shaka Smart in there, $2.2 million at Marquette.
He's in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. If Richard Pitino made $2.2 million, do they beat Clemson?
No. But to your point, if there's an extra $1.5 million in the collective or $1 million in the collective, do they beat Clemson?
That doesn't come from ticket sales.
That would be saying, yes, you're right. But that was your scenario, right? Would you rather put the extra $1.5 million in the collective or into coach's salary? That was your plan B. So so just play me out wherever it comes from. If you had an extra $1.5 million in the collective, would you beat Clemson? Good chance, right? Who makes plays?
Players.
Players or coaches? Maurice says, what exactly has Dickie P done here, Jeff? Yeah, before flaming out in Memphis, he had a nice week in Vegas. He had to. In 3 years in your league, Global Basketball's finished 10th, 6th, and tied for 6th. If his name was Richard Buck, I don't think anyone would be clamoring to shell out more money. It's from Maurice. You don't like the Bucks. But what's wrong with the Bucks, man?
No, they've kept us down for too long.
Yeah. By the way, can I tell you my favorite? Maurice, does the name brand have something to do with it? Yeah, I think it does. But what has he done here, Maurice? He's made you. I'll answer your question. I mean, because to say he's done nothing is wrong. He has made you relevant. He got you to the NCAA tournament. He cut down nets. He packed your building. Like to say he's done nothing. You're not wrong when you say he's finished 10th, 6th, and 6th. That also is true. But he has gotten you ranked. He has gotten you into the NCAA tournament. He has gotten you to be a Mountain West Conference tournament champion. He's cut down nets. He has rejuvenated this fan base. He has filled that building. Like to say he's done nothing would not be right. Now to say it's been unbelievable, I'd probably stop short of that. He's done a good job here, dude. He took a program that was 300 and something in the net, that had won 6 games the previous year. The building was half empty. You didn't give a damn anymore, and he turned it around. So what has he done? He's done a damn good job.
And
by the way,
people are trying to throw it out there like it's some shot. Like you finished 6th in the league, and a 6-bid league. And I do think it's crazy that the committee said it took New Mexico winning the Mountain West tournament to get in, and because they were a bid stealer. But I think if you're playing in a multi-bid league, okay, so if they finish 4th.
Yeah. Wow. All right, I got more for you, and you can get in 505-246-0610. Really good content from y'all this morning, and keep them coming as the rumor mill just continues to swirl, and nothing, and nothing solid yet, and who knows when you might or might not hear something. Hey, the number's growing. International Protective Service has hundreds of homeowners and business owners who trust IPS to install alarms and cameras and patrol their homes and businesses. They respond quickly if alarms go off with armed, trained security officers. Because the reality is police aren't coming for hours if they come at all. In most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. You travel, you work, you are not home all day. And there's nothing worse than coming home and finding you've been the victim of a break-in. You notice IPS officers at local Walmarts and Targets and retail outlets. IPS is making a major difference for them, and they can help you too. They've helped me for years. They patrol my home. They're there every day. When I travel, they do exterior checks. They pick up packages and mail and newspaper, whatever you need. IPS has a team watching video cameras and monitoring alarms around the clock so your home is secure, your business is secure. Look, it's supposed to be a place of security, and if someone breaks in, it's devastating to that sense of security. Homes and businesses that are protected are far less likely to be targeted by the bad guys. Call IPS. Talk to them about affordable private security. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of Pro V Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Yeah, legendary Mike Roberts. But opening day is on Friday, and it'll be the El Paso Chihuahuas. You get the T-shirt hoodies on Saturday and Elmer Fudd hats on Friday and all kinds of stuff. Out yesterday at the ballpark. Can I tell you my favorite thing yesterday? Was watching Austin Buck and DeCito sitting there staring at each other. So they have the Chef Grego does this press gathering and introduces the new menu items. And they're good stuff. And it's like the pig burger where there's pork on top of the burger, and there's a Asian fusion bowl. And then the dessert was this ice cream concoction. And so there are two. How old's yours?
5.
And yours is 4? How old's Austin? 5. They're the same age. The two of them, JJ's kid and DC's kid, sitting at the table and eating ice cream for lunch and looking at each other like, it's pretty good. You think so? Yeah, it's pretty good. I think you're cool. Are you cool? I think you're cool. I think this guy's pretty cool. I don't really know him, but yeah, it was kind of fun. I was like having my own conversation in my head as they weren't talking to each other. They're like staring at each other, stuffing ice cream in their face. It was my favorite thing by far the whole damn night or day.
What baseball is all about.
Yeah. It really is. It was awesome. But there was one thing that came out that I found to be very funny.
Yeah.
I was talking to Austin. I said, Austin, do you like the Broncos like your dad? He looked at me dead in the face and he said, no, I like the Dolphins.
Really? How'd that happen?
Surprisingly, so one of his grandpas is a Dolphins fan, and my best friend is a Dolphins fan, so he kind of sees that too.
All right.
All the time. I think he just likes Dolphins.
Fair enough. I liked the Dolphins when I was a kid. When I was a kid, that was my team.
Tyreek Hill is explosive. So.
Yeah, the remnants of kind of the Larry Zonka, Bob Greasy, Mercury Morse. I really liked him. Went down there one time and and then grew out of that mode. But it was fun, man. Did you have a favorite food, by the way? I mean, they're all pretty good.
I was very impressed with the turkey leg.
It's dipped in the
sauce was awesome. The Hawaiian barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the turkey leg at state fairs and things of the sort. So that's pretty awesome to have that at the ballpark.
Yeah, it's available for you. All right, it's all there. It was fun, but just I couldn't go without. I mean, your two sons, man, was just and they're at such that killer age where you just to take them and explore stuff, and I miss that already, right? But
well, it was so much fun too when we're walking out, like pointing out the Star Wars jerseys and things, and like they were just so fascinated, and like everything is so cool to them. It really is fun to see.
Yeah, no, it's such a good age, man. I'm at the age where we're just we got accepted to another university. One of the top ones on our list yesterday, she got an acceptance. Today, number 1, we're going to find out, and then hopefully have some choices here soon.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
very nice.
It's enough.
He's going to do one of the ones where sits at the table with a bunch of hats.
She should do that, huh?
Yes, I love that.
Well,
idea.
what I'm learning now too is, and her counselor's kind of been telling me this. So, I mean, there's some really, she's got great options, and so I guess you can go to one and say, hey, she really wants to go here, but they're offering her this much, to go there. Can you, what can you do? So I guess we got to get into the haggling thing now.
You got a little leverage working.
Well, she's got a little leverage. A number of them have offered her some some scholarship stuff, but some more than others. So yeah, we'll see. It's an interesting time. 505-246-0610. Certainly an interesting time around here. Richard Pitino's name being floated around the Louisville head coaching job. Bob Huggins threw his name into the hat today. There's all kinds of names in there, and we're just talking. Like again, I'm not ready to entertain a conversation. Who's next? I really am not, because you have a coach. I appreciate the cerebral content today. The JJ, I would say guarded emotion today. I think people have just understood, man, this is it. And like I said, if I said to you 3 years ago, and Richard Pitino isn't gone yet. He may be here next year. He may not. I don't know. But if I said to you 3 years ago, coming off of that Craig Neal season, the last Paul Weir season, where you won 6 games, and it was coming out of COVID, and I said, hey, so you're going to get this guy for 3 years. You're going to cut down nets, and you're going to get back to the NCAA tournament, and the pit's going to be packed, and you're going to be, in and out of the rankings. I think you'd have said, all right, I'm good with that. We're in a better place. I think you would have. Rudy, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning.
Well, if you want more, you got to do more, right? And so fan base does have to step up. There's rumors that I've heard that the Board of Regents is going to vote to increase the student fee to athletics. I mean, even if they did $30 more, that's going to add $1 million to the athletic budget. And one thing I know about Richard is he's a solid person. I don't know if anybody heard this story, but the day that they were playing Wyoming, he found out my dad passed away, and he didn't have my number, but he reached out to somebody, got my number, and texted me. That's the kind of guy I want coaching at UNM. Yeah. And if he leaves, that's his decision. That's his choice. He's got to do what's best for his family. But I have been very appreciative of Richard. He's done a lot. And in the grand scheme of things, is this a top 5 coaching job? No. Is it a top 10? No, but it's in the top 20. And I learned this from Dave Bliss, because Dave was there at SMU, Oklahoma, and he really wanted the job here at New Mexico bad. And I said, why? He goes, because among coaches, the coaches that know, this is really a good job. And it is. Is it the best job? No, but it's a darn good job, and the proof is in the pudding. And I wish Richard stays. That's my hope. That's my dream. I texted him yesterday. He texted me back. So I don't know if that's enough of a social experiment to say that he's staying. The other thought is, Jeff, what if the athletic director is slow playing him? I think at some point a coach goes, hey, I don't want to be your third choice. Yeah, I want to feel like you want me, not you have to take me because you're out of options. Yeah. So that's on the table, too, I think, as part of this whole thing. We'll see. I just want him to stay 2 more years. He's got a couple of great kids coming in. That Milosevic, however you pronounce his name. Have you seen any film on this kid?
Yeah, I have, and I'd like to see him come down the ramp and get excited. Yeah.
And that's why I think, Richard has worked so hard to build this thing. Maybe there's a part of him that says, I want to see this through a couple more years. I know this. Jack loves the pit, and he's brought so much joy to people that right there, who knows? Maybe you're enough of a family man to say, I don't want to take my kid out of school. He likes where he is. He likes his friends.
Yeah,
he likes
they're going. But at some point, like you said, 2 more years. You want to take them out now. I mean, I don't know when the right time to take your kids out. At what age? At some point in that profession, you're going to take your kids out of school. They moved them from Minnesota to here. And 2 more years.
There is no right time, but there is the factor of money. Hey, I'll say one thing about your daughter. I've got old. It's not old. It's in pretty good shape. A bow cap. Bo Schembechler. I'm more than willing to put that on the table so that Addie can put that cap on her head and go to Michigan.
I'll tell you, that's one of the real options right now. It's enticing. The Ross Business School there is really impressive at Michigan.
It is, and I'll show her how to get money because they ponied up money for me to go to law school there.
Talk to me, baby.
And they want kids from New Mexico.
Right,
they want. The whole gamut. So good luck to Addie, and anything I can do to help her, I will.
We'll have that conversation. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's interesting on the family part. I don't know when the right time is. And look, the Yum Center's probably pretty fun to go to also, as is the pit. And Jack will be fine, and Nella will be fine, and Jill will be fine, and family's going to be fine. I just, when's the right time? And I think, when you marry a basketball coach, I think you kind of marry into a lifestyle. You realize you're not going to be anywhere for 25 years, right? And that's part of what it is. And it's moving the kids, and the kids are going to, it's hard, and they got to make new friends. That's college athletics. It just is. You're an athletic director, your coach is what it is.
Let's not forget that Richard grew up in that too.
Richard grew up in that, and for the most part, he grew up in Lexington, which is not Louisville, but it's in Kentucky. Right. And it's the money's the issue. And I think Richard's a good guy. I think he's been sincere about, and he's never said I'm going to be here forever. I don't think anybody ever thought that, right? I think, he probably looked at it. He's talked a lot about how he took a chance taking this job, which is interesting. And it's always, that's always interested me because, Rudy says, I think this is a top 20 job. I don't know that Richard felt that. He thought it was a good job. But remember how many times he said, I took a chance moving my family down, right?
Yes.
And he took, I think everything is a chance.
Yes, and especially these days where it's instant turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Any opening, you're going to go in to a situation that's not good.
I mean, look, if he goes to Louisville, it's not good right now, and high expectations. But he's making $3.5 million. All right, keep them coming. I got more and more of your correspondence on this. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. It's the opening drive. Oh, here we go with another rebuild, says this one. I'll read it to you and give you my thoughts on that next. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange, the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Is a healthy, fat, bald guy better than ice cream for breakfast?
Heck yeah.
Look at you, skinny, good-haired, well, skinny, in shape, stud over here. And then there's you back there. You get some ice cream for breakfast?
It was amazing.
Is it good? I haven't eaten it yet.
Oh, it is tasty.
All right, thanks to our buddies at Bluebell. It's like, what is it, gooey cake ice cream or something? What'd you tell me?
Gooey butter cake.
Yeah, gooey butter cake ice cream.
Fantastic.
Do I even put it in my mouth? Because I don't want to eat that whole thing, but like my doctor's listening right now and just going, what did I tell you yesterday? Like, stop eating that crap. And then she comes in here, you want ice cream for breakfast? And I'm like, no, I don't. And there's ice cream for breakfast. Thank you to Bluebell. 505-246-0610. Sean, you want to talk about Lobo basketball? What's up, Sean?
Hey, guys. Good morning. It's funny how we go from this guy deserves an extension to now he's a bum and he's mediocre and see ya, get out of here. And I think that goes back to what I stated before on the show, is that I feel like Lobo fans' expectations are extremely high, and it's a good job. But when you look at historicals, like you are still a stepping stone. You don't have enough money to keep a guy around out of the goodness of his heart. I mean, you look back, the furthest they've been is the Sweet 16 in 1968 and 1974. The greatest run, in my opinion, in Lobo basketball was the Alford and Craig Neal era, because you've been in the Mountain West since 1999. You have 4 outright Mountain West Conference championships. What's the common denominator there? Alford and Neal. You look at the Mountain West Conference tournament championship, you have 5. 2 of those are outside of the Craig Neal and Alford era. You're consistently in the bottom of spending in the Mountain West Conference. Now, I know you don't need to spend money to win, but it definitely helps, because if we're talking about if you're paying a coach $1.5 million or you add $1.5 million to the NIL, the answer is you need both. So it goes back to expectations. I think Lobo fans have this big ego about Lobo basketball. Mm-hmm. That's all I really have to say about that. But, I'm a football school, so what do I know? See you guys.
See you. Spending doesn't guarantee you money. There's plenty of schools that are spending that don't get that aren't. I mean, spending doesn't guarantee you wins. There are plenty of schools who are spending that aren't winning. Ask UCLA how they felt about that this year. Ask SC how they felt about it this year. Right? There's
We're
spending.
talking about Louisville.
Yeah.
And I'm from the bottom of a barrel basketball program right now.
Which is crazy that say Louisville is at the bottom. This says on the text line, here we go again, another rebuild. At some point, UNM higher-ups need to either pay or will forever be a stepping stone for these coaches. The stepping stone thing, let me just tell you, I really believe every job's a stepping stone. I do. I mean, head coaches move from job to job. The Roy Williams thing is an outlier. I understand for going from Kansas to Carolina, but I mean, I might be watching Andy Enfield go from SC to SMU. Did you ever think USC to SMU would be the direction? You always think they go the other way, right? Mick Cronin could be going wherever. They're all stepping stones. Like, you're not going to have a guy for 25 years or 10 years, maybe 10 years. I don't know. All that's fine. When you say pay, do you want to pay what the Louisvilles are paying? Because I don't think you can. Or do you want to pay what the San Diego States are paying, which I don't even think you can anymore, at $2.6 million? And what does it guarantee? I think you got to be competitive in your league. And if you find the resources to be competitive above your league, then you can swing a little bit above your weight. But I hear you, man. It's frustrating as hell. This is Will Wade is what Louisville fans want according to their Twitter feeds. What does Will Wade make? At McNeese, I don't know, but nowhere near. He's not making what Richard Pitino's making, and he's not making anywhere near what he would make there. Dude, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more I got to read for you on Richard Pitino. I didn't mean for this to be a total Richard Pitino show. I mean, I thought we'd get into some Dak and Christmas football and racism in Coeur d'Alene and, that kind of stuff. But
Jingle bells.
Jiminy Christmas. This is where you want to go. Let's go. Keep them coming. 505-246-0610. Great content today. 505-246-0610. The email is jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, refractive lens exchange. the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
So now I got ice cream and donut. I sure hope my cardiologist is not like literally. Yesterday he's like, all right, you got to eat better, you got to live better, or otherwise you're not going to live long. Which really wasn't what he said, but it's what I got out of it. Holy smokes! And thank you for breakfast.
You're welcome.
How you living? You ready for opening day? You look very calm for opening day. You know when I got
well, because it's not opening day.
when I'm 2 days away from my my little game, as you call
game?
it, yeah, my one game.
Yeah.
You want me to apologize for that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I'm envious. Can we trade?
I'm a little bit more hectic when I'm 2 days out than just as calm as you are right now.
Well, here's the thing,
Yeah.
right? Number one, we've been doing this a minute.
So you're not new.
Well, we've been around the block a little bit. We know when we need to be ready, and all we're doing is paying attention to the weather, and it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, you
so if we're not ready by now, we're not going to be ready.
Did you ever know Pat McKernan?
Very well.
I used to go into Pat's office in the old sports stadium, and I loved Pat. And Pat's office was just stacked with Hostess cakes and baked goods everywhere.
Speaking of breakfast,
but the other thing that was there was always the radar, and he was always just staring at the weather because monsoon season. So I'd stop by in July, and he'd offer me some sort of treat,
salty snack of some sort.
And it was and Pat McKernan, the longtime general manager of the Albuquerque Dukes, for whom McKernan Hall is named. And but it was always the weather, man. And I don't blame him. I do the same thing, man. Our one game comes, as you tell me, and I'm not sorry. And I'm looking at the 10-day, and I'm looking at the 8-day, and I'm looking at right. I know.
Yeah, it's what
gonna be beautiful, by the way.
I look at it throughout the off season too. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of an obsession, probably not the healthiest obsession to have.
I get it.
And I probably got this hairline a little bit, and due to
I love your hairline.
trying to control things I have no control over.
You got a little dent right here. I never noticed before.
Yeah,
I never noticed that one. Just with the light shining.
Yeah, well, it's quite the beauty mark. That's what skin cancer will do for you.
I'm a big fan of it.
I give him a lot of work here.
It's like I got a carving right there.
Yeah.
Hey, giveaways. So
your health hour brought to you by
Elmer Fudd night. Elmer Fudd hats tomorrow. What do we call them?
Well, it's not tomorrow. It's Friday.
I mean Friday.
Today's
what
Wednesday.
What do we call them?
It's an ear flap cap.
Elmer Fudd hats.
Ear flap cap.
You can say that. I can't say that.
Okay,
but that's a good description.
I just did.
Yes.
And then the t-shirt hoodies on
it's a jersey hoodie.
How do I get one of those? I gotta get.
Got to line up, man.
We have tickets. We do have tickets available still.
I have tickets. No, I have tickets.
Okay, you got to be one of the
Are they in my
first
account?
3,000. I think we're good.
All right. Yeah, we got a powerlifting meet that day. I don't know. I'll be there.
Powerlifting meet?
The child's on the powerlifting team.
Are you kidding me?
You didn't know that?
What else does
she's
she do?
lettered in powerlifting.
She does everything.
I know. She's lettered in powerlifting.
Oh
and
all right, I got to go next door
to qualify for state.
I got it. Bob's getting mad at me.
All right, say hi to Bob, and thank you for breakfast.
Thank you, Will.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We'll see you
John
guys.
Traub, general manager of the best minor league franchise in America, the Albuquerque Guys. Come on over and get some breakfast.
Oh, I will.
I mean, did you see the donut selection?
Woo. Well, and let's not forget the hats.
Here,
and
put it on the
t-shirts.
TV. Show Adrian. I mean, look at this. Yeah.
Beautiful.
We've had a nice morning.
This is a great. It's not just, hey, I got you 12 dozen glazed. No, we got an assortment here. We got some chocolate cake. We got some blueberry cake.
Yeah.
This apple crumble I'm gonna crush.
Are you?
I got the box in my hand, so
first. Possession is 90% of everything. Yeah, we got. Oh, and you got swag today too. How about
SO Club?
Yeah, how about our guy at the SO Club for coming through? And so, do you remember last week? We went out to Clemson, and it was Charles Usry, right? And the guy, the Lobo, who runs the SO Club, he sent a box of swag. So you got a trucker hat and a hat. You got some T-shirts and
Former Lobo offensive lineman who blocked for Ned James, who did play quarterback at the University of Mexico.
Who knew?
It's true.
Who knew?
He runs one of the biggest sports bars in the country. It happened to be in Clemson.
Right.
And
So now you know about our health and our breakfast, which are horribly correlated. What is this? Glenn says, what the heck, Jeffers? Yesterday I had to cancel the appointment I had with the dude that comes annually and flips on the AC. I'm still running the heat like 20 hours a day. Yeah, that should stop, I think, tomorrow. It was cold. It was cold this morning, but yeah. All right. You ready for some more emails that you have sent in? Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Talking a lot this morning about Lobo basketball. And look, the latest this morning is nothing. I mean, I have not seen anything late this morning as far as the rumors. There's still rumors. Richard Pitino's name is still floating as a target for Louisville's coaching job. Bob Huggins put his name in today, said it's a perfect fit for me. He wants that job. So wherever we're going. But now, hold on. Did you see this one? This came down at 8:48. What time is this? What is 8:01 bracketology? Okay, and again, take this for what it is. I don't have this confirmed.
He's the 13th ranked bracketology.
8:01 bracketology 17 minutes ago said Richard Pitino is no longer in the running for the Louisville job and has backed out to remain at New Mexico per a source. Where will Louisville turn now? That was 17 minutes ago from 8:01 bracketology. So take it for what it's worth. I don't know what it means. All right. But there's so much out there, right? 505-246-0610. Dan says Minnesota, Jeffrey, Juan Jose, and Da Vinci Cano. Correct me if I'm wrong. The main reason Pitino came to Louisville basketball is he had a nice little buyout, but to get it, he had to seek gainful employment ASAP. He couldn't sit on his arse for 3 years and get big checks from the Gophers. I don't know what his buyout deal was. I honestly don't remember. I don't know that I think that's right. Gene says, can we talk about Albuquerque's AAA baseball franchise? Yeah, we just did. While you guys were stuffing your faces out there yesterday, did anybody ask about the defense? I'm more worried about Albuquerque's AAA franchise, how they're going to guard, than the latest overpriced eats. Damn it, got to ask.
Yes, we're asking the head chef about the team's defense.
Media days tomorrow. Did ask the PR guy yesterday about that as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. I not once when I watched your kid and your kid stuff their face with ice cream did I ask about their. Although that's not true. You know what? It's not true. Josh Sushan was there, and in between talking about the Aztecs being in the Sweet 16, we did talk about the pitching, and he went through the entire rotation. Was that with you? Right? You and I were standing, right, DC?
Yes, indeed.
He went through the entire rotation, said that their rotations back here, like, great, they gave up a bunch of runs. No, the end of the season, if you recall, they were in contention for the second half crown back end, and he said the roster is very much like last year's end of the season roster. So I did, Gene, I did ask about their defense, and Josh told me it's going to be good. So whatever that means. Gopher says extra $1 million, Jeff. If there was a mythical $1 million, I'd rather have it spent on Louisville football facilities than coaches or players. Okay. Bill says, Lobo job. If Patino leaves, the name that always comes up is Michael Cooper. The negative with him always is he doesn't have a degree. What does that matter in this age of college athletics? Very few players complete 4 years at a school, probably don't graduate. It's basically minors for the NBA. He's a proven coach, and NIL is looking for a school, by the way. And Coach Nils. Who's Coach Nils? It says Coach Nils is looking for a school, by the way. I don't know. Lobo Hobo says the damage is done, Jeff. What do you think about Lobo fans telling me this morning that even if Patino stays, the damage to the program's already been done because it's been more than a day and we've heard no denial or anything else coming from Patino or Nunez? It's from Lobo Hobo. Damage is done where? I'm going to ask you this. And Lobo Hobo, you can respond to me however you want if you want to send me another note. So what damage is done? If Richard Pitino says, yeah, I spoke with Louisville. There was some interest. I wanted to hear what they had to say. What damage is done? And if he stays? Help me understand that.
Not going to games next year.
You're not going because
Flirting with other people.
Because he flirted with other people. I don't know. You're working at your place. And I'm trying to get confirmation on this, on that report.
When you're a fan,
yeah.
Even with the amount of rational thoughts we've had this morning, there's plenty of irrational things because you're not flirting with anything else. This is your team. This is your program. So how would someone want to leave?
I don't know, JJ. You're married and you started flirting with the young lady you met out at the ballpark yesterday. I mean, you just flirted with her. You just wanted to hear what she had to say, but then you went home. Is that okay?
Hypothetical. Did not happen.
DC, I mean, you're married and you went down, you took Dicito and he's like a little magnet and you talked to that young lady. You just want to hear what she had to say, but you went home to your wife. Is that okay?
I don't think she's
Is it a bad analogy?
She would not be thrilled with that.
Is it a bad, just because you talked to someone?
Talking and flirting are very different.
You just wanted to hear what she had to say. I mean, she had $3.5 million and I mean, and the Yum Center. That's what the arena at Louisville is called, the Yum Center. So she's got $3.5 million in the Yum Center. Don't even know what that means.
Yum Foods, it's huge actually. They own KFC.
I understand, dude. I'm
well
aware of it.
How are you supposed to compete with that KFC?
How
money?
are you supposed to compete with her Yum Center? I'm just asking. You say, thank you very much. I have a contract. I'm going home to my wife. Know what you say?
For life.
Good freaking answer.
They can't afford the buyout right now.
In Lobo Hubble, what is the damage? Like, with all due respect, when Patino comes out and says, yeah, I talked to him. Yeah. And I want to hear what they had to say, and I'm happy here and looking forward to building next year. And we just signed a JUCO guy because there was a report that they signed somebody out of the portal yesterday. Right? What's the damage? You're not going next year because your coach listened to somebody who might throw $3.5 million at him? I got more for you. 505-246-0610. I know you got more for me. Keep them coming. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. An AM 610, the sports animal.
The best of the Birdcage is back. We know your bracket.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Afternoons from 4 till 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
All right, keep them coming at 505-246-0610. Kind of a weird day in here because there's, again, all kinds of reports flying around and it's got you reacting. And I think this just, more than anything, JJ, I think it illustrates the impact that Richard has had on the program and what winning has done because you care this damn much. Now, maybe, you know, when the day that it was announced that Paul Weir was leaving, maybe, I'm trying to remember, was it this active?
I don't remember.
I don't remember it either, and it would have stood out. Like when Alfred left, it was. That stands out to me, right?
I barely remember what happened 4 days ago.
Yeah, and by the way, Richard Pitino hasn't left, and there's actually a report this morning that says he's not leaving, so I don't know what to believe.
With the Twitter stuff, too, you just got to not jump at everything, monitor it, keep an eye out.
Right.
And for Lobo basketball, what you know is it matters. And Richard Pitino has this place buzzing again. The last 2 weeks were phenomenal. The season was a lot of fun, but the vibe in Vegas, the energy around the tournament, the build up to the NCAA tournament, even just being out that day and seeing how many people, middle of the day on Friday, built their day around that game. Basketball matters, and Rich Pitino brought it back at UNM.
505-246-0610. What says you? You said a lot today. Let's go. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Edward.
Hey, good morning. Boy, things change quickly, don't they? Jeff and JJ, let me ask you. I'm not fully understanding how many teams advanced. Is there only one team from the Mountain West in the Sweet 16? San Diego State, correct?
I think
Did anybody else advance?
You understand that very well. Yes, just the one. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know because I didn't know what happened with Utah State. About a month and a half ago, I predicted that San Diego State would win the conference, and they didn't. The Lobos did a great job. What's painfully evident to me is the only team that we can rely on to have sustainable success in the NCAA tournament is San Diego State, and people can't challenge that. It's not an indictment; it's just the facts that we see, right? 6 teams in, and I know there was a first 4 win, I think, by Colorado State, and then they ended up losing in the first round. But and that's okay; it's progress for the conference. But I think that it needs to be stated, it needs to be accepted, and then you try to build on that. So I think San Diego State, I think the way their program and the type of athletes they recruit, they're built for sustainable success in the tournament. Every other team, they had good years, but there was some caveat to where either they had big men that weren't athletic enough or they were too small at the guard positions. There's some caveat or another. But again, overall, a great year for the Mountain West. Regarding Mr. Pitino, I've really enjoyed what he's done here the last 3 years, and who knows what's going to happen. But I think the sooner that the program realizes what and who they are, then you move quickly, and you transition quickly. And, stepping stone, yeah, I get it, right? It's a commonly used term.
Whatever.
But you are what you are. Right, and that's okay.
Well, here's the other piece, Edward. I think you got to remember, you got to start somewhere, right? And I think Lobo fan is tired of starting. That's San Diego State didn't build that thing overnight. You know what they've become. Gonzaga didn't build it overnight. You got to start somewhere and have some sustained success at a certain level, and that's what this fan base is clamoring for. They just want to start and sustain something to start on.
The question is that even possible in mid-major basketball?
You're right,
Dayton's
JJ. And when I watch teams like Creighton and Butler, and Gonzaga is a different story, right? And even San Diego State, I know the Lobos fans think they're there. That's what they want to be. That should be their goal, because those teams have sustainable success, and it's awesome, right? And I think the Lobos can get there, but they're in a rebuilding cycle every 3 or 4 or 5 years, and it kind of is what it is. So I don't have a solution. But, I understand the process. So, anyway, I thought I'd share those thoughts.
No, appreciate
you. Let me speak a few things. Yeah. Have a good day.
Thanks. So,
Butler hasn't been in the NCAA tournament in 6 years.
And because their competition level really increased. And as much as you say Butler in the same breath as Gonzaga or even New Mexico, Butler and Creighton are in the Big East. That is a power conference. The Big East is a power basketball conference. Their budgets are power conference budgets. And there is a difference. But don't you think, right, even those programs, Wichita State was there for a minute. You got to build, you sustain some a level of success at your league level. You win a couple games in the tournament, and then you start ascending. San Diego State, I mean, I remember I went when they played UConn, that Kemba Walker team. Remember their first Sweet 16 was 12 years ago-ish. And I went to that one, and that was a big deal. And now it's like, all right, they're back in the Sweet 16. Same with Gonzaga years ago.
It's going to not be good enough now. Brian Dutcher's going to be on the hot seat next year. When we get to the seat.
Brian Dutcher's going nowhere.
Yeah, San Diego State they're the ceiling. That's the ultimate of what you're trying to achieve. You know what? Like, if we're talking about consistency and who do you want to be, Boise State.
Yeah, you'd like to not be 0-10 in the NCAA tournament, but yeah.
Yeah, but look at their NCAA tournament appearances. Their records over the last 14 years.
In the league, certainly. Yeah. Grady, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Grady.
Internet rumor quashers, OG and the AM. What's happening?
I don't even know, man. I honestly, if I pretended to know, I'd be lying.
Some of these emails and texts, it brings to mind the words agitators, delusional myopians, disconnected, completely broken off from reality. It never ceases to amaze me. And then the last one where, well, if the coach would even thought about another job, then I'm not going to even support it. That's that's the most ridiculous thing I think I've heard today, and I've heard a lot of ridiculous things today. So I'm struggling to try to come up with an analogy, but you know, it's one of those things where if you want to begrudge someone for wanting to better themselves, better their position, etc., you know, then that's a you problem, not a them problem. And you know, I have to say this. Another amazing thing that I'm about to say is Mud's call earlier. I thought I agreed with almost everything he said. Right. And here's the thing, and I'll sum it up. I'll use the New Mexico Bowl as an example. You know, Jeff, you tell the story of Governor Richardson was tired of hearing what we can't do. Yeah. Wanted to do something that we could do, or find something we can.
Show me why something can be done. Yeah, why it can happen.
And so let's put it like this: you don't run that to be average. You don't run that just okay, let's sustain it. You run that to excel. You run that to be outstanding. You know, you could get gifts from the Dollar General or whatever, but you know, your swag is top notch, and you choose to position it as such. So, generally speaking, a lot of times in the university spending, etc., we're so conditioned to want something or nothing, and then complain about it. A lot of times we will run away from our parents and then say, "Oh, woe is me, I'm an orphan." And it's one of those things where if you want to be good, and that's a legit question. If you want to be good at basketball, at football, what have you, don't fund it. Don't support it to be just barely getting by. Support it to be excellent. Fund it to be excellent. Now, does funding mean success? Absolutely not. But what funding and supporting something for excellence does, though, it establishes a culture, it establishes a mindset, and who knows, it actually might make your university, your city, your state a destination that people want to go to.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. All right, man. Always good to hear you.
Appreciate the time.
See you. Yeah, it's good. Sherman, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Hey, good morning. Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Life's grooving. How you doing?
So, let's see. I'm going to appeal. I'm going to say, Richard, it's about the fan base. Yes, they have a great history back there, but they don't have the pit.
Oh, but they have the Yum Center.
Well, I'm like the rest of the fan base. I'm a little bit anxious today. I hope I understand. I get it. I've been in business my whole life. I understand how it works, but wouldn't it be marvelous if Richard chooses to stay and be a Lobo for a couple of more years?
It'd be good. I think everybody would be happy.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. You have a good one. Take care.
See ya. All right. Meanwhile, at the Yum Center, you can go see Disney on Ice April 4th through 7th. And what else they got? AJR is going to be there. It's one of my kids' favorite bands. That's April 13th. You can go see AJR at the Yum Center. Bert Kreischer was just here. He'll be at the Yum Center. And coming soon to a Yum Center near you. KFC Yum Center in Louisville. All right, I got a few more for you. This one's from Bourne. It's on Josh Shirts. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeffy Lube. But I thought I read he'd already entered into an MOU with St. Louis. I'm not sure how legally binding that is. Remember, Steve Alford had a 10-year MOU with Krebs the week before he bailed at UCLA. I don't know what to believe anymore. There's so much stuff on the interwebs. I don't know. I've heard that he's going to St. Louis. I've heard that he's still in line for the Louisville job. I look, man, if I believe everything I read, I don't believe anything. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Bourne, I think I've seen that too. I just don't.
One thing I have read is that Shirts came out and said he's not even going to address this until he's done with the NIT.
And they won last night.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, his next game Sunday.
Sounds right. Whenever the semifinals, I think it's Monday, actually.
Is it? Yeah.
Well,
so
they're going to stay away from the Sweet 16, so I think they go Monday and Wednesday. Yeah. And by the way, the NIT finals not Madison Square Garden. It's going to be in Indianapolis this year. That's weird, isn't it? After all those years of the NIT at Madison Square Garden.
It's one of the things. Why? Like, why did you take that away? I get it's the NIT, but to me, I think you can still make top 100 meaning in basketball.
It means
And
a hell of a lot to UNLV and Indiana State right now.
And they've done that with women's basketball, and I appreciate that. The WBIT, the NCAA came in, and so the WNIT of the past 64 team field, that's not the thing. It's a WBIT. And I think you can make top 100 basketball meaningful, but taking it out of Madison Square Garden just does lose some luster for the NIT Final Four.
NIT yesterday, Georgia beat Ohio State 79-77 to advance. Indiana State at home beat Cincinnati. And then tonight in the quarterfinals, you get, what's tonight, Wednesday? You get UNLV on the road at Seton Hall. That game is on ESPN2 if you want to watch it. It will be a 5 o'clock start, the Mountain West UNLV at Seton Hall, and then VCU's at Utah. That's the late game. And those the two winners will advance to the semifinals of the NIT, which I'm just going to tell you, I watched a little bit of that Indiana State game last night. You can't tell me it doesn't mean anything to them. That fan base was going nuts. They got a Big 12 team in their gym, little old Indiana State, and they think they thought they should have been in the NCAA tournament. And I'm not going to tell you they shouldn't have. I had a hell of an argument to be in. A really good record. Oh, but they didn't play anybody, Jeff. Their strength of schedule, because nobody will play them. I mean, how are you supposed to build if nobody's going to give you an opportunity to build? The big dogs are just trying to keep the little dogs down. There's no argument about that. There's none. All right, keep them coming. I got so much here still. 505-246-0610. JJ, get donuts?
Donuts.
DC, you get a donut?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah. Greek Freak, there's Twitter peep saying Pitino's pulling out as candidate for Louisville and returning to New Mexico. I know, I'm seeing it all over. I just don't have it confirmed. Saw it, 801, what was it, 801 Bracketology or whatever started it, and then there's a number of people retweeting this. So there are Twitter's.
There's multiple basketball accounts picking up on that.
All right. So
that Richard Pitino not in the mix at Louisville.
Yeah. So according to a bunch of tweets now. I'm trying to get confirmation on it. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM into AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Shot up good. The madness is here. Catch every high-profile.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony.
I'm not going to report this as fact. How do you want to handle this right now with all the Twitter stuff going on, JJ? I mean,
well, people are reading it. People are tagging us in it. They're tagging their friends in it, and you have to wait for the official word on what's happening with Rich Pitino and Louisville coaching search.
Many, and their basketball accounts now, right? And Jeff Grammer just posted it as well. So some of you take that as.
I know that's where a lot of people.
All right. Well, Grammer posted 2 minutes ago. Says I can confirm via sources Richard Pitino is not in the mix at this point for the Louisville job and remains the coach of the Lobos.
Pretty good one.
So I'll trust Grammer on it, and if his sources are telling me that it's confirmed, then Richard Pitino's staying at the University of New Mexico, at least for now. Right? How about this? As of now, he's not going to Louisville. How about that? Is that a better way to say it?
Richard Pitino remains your head coach.
Will you call Grammer and see if he'll come on real quick in the next segment? Do you mind, please, DC? Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How are you, Howard?
So here's what I got, guys, from the Card Chronicle of Mike Rutherford. It's saying, here's the state of Louisville basketball coaching search as I know it at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. After talking to folks close to both Josh Schertz and the University of Louisville search Monday night, I believe the job is searches is if he wants it.
That's the Indiana State coach. Yeah. All right.
So I'm going to just throw my hat in the mix there and tell you guys what I've been listening to.
No, that's good.
I'm very optimistic for Pitino's stay.
All right. Well, it seems like in the last few minutes, and I'm gonna trust Grammer because he's pretty damn good at this stuff. And if he says his sources are telling him, then and we're gonna try to get him on here. Then I'm gonna trust that. All right, Howard. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Later. All right. Let me tell you this because I think we're gonna kind of throw things out of whack here. We're not done with this segment. We're not going to commercial, but I do want to tell you about On the Spot Automotive Detailing because they detail your vehicle. And springtime is going to make your car crazy. Let's do some spring cleaning. Let's take care of one of your biggest investments. Got a refund coming? Use some of it towards your car. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Take part of your refund, and at your convenience, they will detail your vehicle. Awarded Best of the City because they're going to make sure to leave your car looking, feeling, smelling like new. They also have window tinting services that'll help you prep for that summer heat. So make the move today. Visit otsdetailing.com. That's otsdetailing.com, and you can schedule today. All right, so the stories are coming in, and we've been watching the rumors and watching all the stuff coming through. Jeff Grammer tweeted a couple minutes ago that his sources are telling him that Richard Pitino is not in the mix for the Louisville job. What do you got on? I see you on that other line. That is not there. JJ, I'm going to take. If Grammer says it, I'm going to go with it.
I agree with that.
All right, who you got on 6? All right, let's do that. Jeffrey, not Jeff Gray. This is not Geoff. This is Jeffrey, not Geoffrey. All right, this is not Jeff Grammer, but this is Jeffrey. What's up, Jeffrey?
Thank you for getting the Jeffrey and not the Jeffrey or the Geoffrey.
Dude, I get them both. Yeah. How do you spell your name with a G?
I don't know. He's a special character, and aside from being a strong and powerful man, he's also an awesome local beat reporter, and I appreciate a lot of what Jeff Grammer does for us. I think he's underappreciated, but that's a different subject altogether. So we're going to be going through this, and when as a Lobo fan and as a program, this is a sign that your program is either what you want to call in the upswing or doing well. And if people are trying to take your coach, it means your coach and your program is doing something right. And I think the senior Patino shadow looms large over Louisville. And I thought that since I started hearing these rumors. And I don't know if I was Richard, if I would want to go there and kind of try and walk in that shadow, because that's regardless of what he says, those are massive shoes to fill.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can say, I know what I'm getting into all you want. Your daddy was a legend there. Some love him, some hate him. Understand how he left, understand the animosity, understand how uncomfortable it was. And bottom line is they haven't won since, and there's a faction of that fan base that still yearns for those days and was loving that name, especially the further along that search goes. But Richard, and I don't know, I haven't talked to him, and I don't know how much he'll get into it. But I mean, when you start thinking about it, that's a hell of a shadow to step into. Your dad won a national championship there. You were on that staff. Your expectation will be from that fan base, nothing less.
No doubt. And prior to Junior coming here, look, a senior Patino, regardless, is one of my favorite coaches of all time, him himself. And I was the very first thought I had when we started looking is like, hey, whatever baggage, get senior Patino here. And I mean, I don't think he would have come here, but I would have welcomed him with open arms. So hopefully we're getting some clarity and some finality on all this so we can concentrate on recruiting and building this team for a strong run next year. Thanks, guys.
Right on. All right, let's take this final break. 505-246-0610. I'm going to try to get Grammer on. And we'll wrap it up. But the word is this morning now, Patino is not going to Louisville. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Is taking his name out of consideration, is not going to take the Louisville job. Jeff Grammer of the Albuquerque Journal confirmed that on Twitter, said his sources confirmed that. And Jeff Grammer joins us this morning. Man, I know you're busy this way. It's an early morning. It's spring break. You got to feed the kids. You got to chase this mess around. You're not even traveling. How you living?
Look, man, Louisville basketball this year not only gave me a full week in Vegas to work for the first time in a decade, then I had to work another week by covering the NCAA tournament. And now I'm having to do this. Come on, man!
At least you get paid overtime, dude. That's why you make all that money.
I had the best job in the state, right? Covering Louisville basketball. It was usually over by the middle of that 1 week in March every year, and now it's 3 more weeks. So,
all right, hit me. Sources tell you that Richard Pitino, and I know, and you know that Richard spoke with Louisville. I know he was in town yesterday. People were telling me he was on a plane. He was at football practice yesterday, but I do know that he spoke with them. You confirmed this morning that he is no longer up for that job?
Yes, and I think this kind of probably first broke through some of the national guys through the Louisville side of things. People I know that I know more of the Richard side of things. I was able to confirm it with today, and it's one of those things where who backed out, who pulled out, who how is it, where does it stand, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know the exact details of all that. I don't know that there was an offer on the table. My belief is if there was ever a formal offer, if you say yes, it's yours. My belief is that Pitino probably would have taken it. It would have been not only an increase in money, but Louisville's one of the jobs that he probably would leave for. And I know there are some hurt feelings right now with some Louisville fans about the fact that he's even looking at some other jobs and stuff like that. He is genuine, I believe, when he says this much. He doesn't want to take another Minnesota-type job. Like, he's not just going to leave for a bad job in a good conference. He already did that at Minnesota, and the record reflects that. It's hard to win at places like that. That's the Fresno States and the San Jose States of the Mountain West. He doesn't want a job like that. But Louisville's not that. Louisville won a national championship.
Dude, Louisville is a legacy job, Jeff. Louisville, he was on the bench when they won a national championship. The fan support is as good as anywhere else. The money's there. They're in the ACC. You don't have to defend looking at that job. And if people are hurt about it, I think they need to get over it and ask yourself, if you were offered, in a position where you might get offered a $3.5 to $4 million a year job at a place like that, would you not? It's the offer thing in a lot of respects to me. So I don't have a problem with that. Hey, let me ask you this. Matt sent me an email, and I saw Mark Ziegler. I don't know if he tweeted this or wrote it in one of his San Diego Union Tribune stories. Said that, quote, "It's known that Pitino wants out of New Mexico," end quote. And Matt said, "Is that true? Do you get that sense?" And my response, Jeff, and you're there every day, much more than certainly we are. But my sense is, I don't know that he's just dying to get out. I don't think that he's ever said, this is where I want to be forever. I feel like he's embraced it. I don't know that I've ever felt that he's a porqueño or he's one of you, but I felt that he's embraced this place and never been, whether it's disrespectful or said, where's the door, find me the first flight out of here.
I think you've described it pretty well. I mean, I think he's been pretty open about, like, this place is great. I do love the fan base here. He means all that. But I don't think he's ever said, I'm gonna, I plan to be here till I'm 80. I think he's kind of, the way he's framed talking about, I'm not leaving for another job unless it can win championships. He has kind of dropped the hint, throughout his tenure here, that if the right job comes along, he would take it. So I don't know that he necessarily hates Albuquerque. I've heard people say that he hates Albuquerque. I don't think he hates Albuquerque at all. I do think, though, that if Louisville comes up, if the right job comes up, I think that he'd be open to pursuing it. And in some, look, this isn't I'm not trying to defend the guy or anything like that, but like it's somewhat refreshing. It's a whole lot better than 10 years ago. I think when the mindset was I'm never leaving, and then you leave. I think Pitino's kind of been somewhat open about, well, if the right job comes along, yeah, I'd leave. I'll be honest about it, and I think he's kind of been that. What Ziegler says is certainly in the coaching circles out there and used against him for recruiting purposes. I know there are some coaches that like to tell recruits that kind of stuff, but I don't think recruits even care anymore. Because
you can say that about every coach, right?
Exactly. You can other than the San Diego State coaches, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Every coach in the league is looking for their next job,
and half of them are taking him, or half of them are looking for him, or swimming to him. He's Jeff Grammer. He's with us for a few minutes. He just confirmed through his sources that Richard Pitino is no longer a candidate for the Louisville head coaching job.
No, Jeff, one of the things we've been discussing too this morning is throughout this whole process of the Mountain West being competitive, and for schools, just trying to be competitive with their offers to coaches, that still matters. But no, if Richard was making $2.2 million, does that beat Clemson, or is it these days, $2.2 million of NIL money is how you're going to win those games?
Well, that's a good question, because it is the new world, right? The NIL money is important, and the coaching money is important. People, especially here, I think because we've been so accustomed to the struggle about money, and there were some, a couple moments in the past decade. I say a couple moments, I don't mean to gloss over it, but there were some financial issues with the UNM athletics. I think people don't like hearing this, but here's the reality. The Mountain West just had its best year ever, and you can say it was one of the top 5 conferences in the country. It got 6 teams in. The ACC and Pac-12 didn't even get those in. Now the Pac-12 is going away. As good as it is, Brian Dutcher just got a pay raise last month. It's for the whole season, and it's kind of, in relation to making the national championship game a year ago, but it just kind of got announced last month, right? And he's jumping up to $2.4 million.
54th in America. 54th.
Yeah, that's almost $1 million more than anybody in the league. So the gap goes from $2.4 million down to about $1.5 million, down to, Pitino this year is getting $1.1 million, all that kind of stuff. That isn't the top 50 in the country of Division I coaches. $2.4 million is 54th in the country, I think, is what it was reported according to the USA Today database.
54th.
Jeff, if you want to put in context where the Mountain West stands, that's where it stands.
Right, and we've been talking about market value. Yeah. You've got to define what market value is. Market value for a power, and this is, look, I've been trying to explain why football matters so much. That's why Louisville in the ACC with all that money can come pay $3.5–4 million a coach, right? It's these power conferences, and so what is market value? Is your market Mountain West, or is your market you're trying to play with the big boys? And I guess you got to figure that out and know where your limits are.
And that is the decision that Mountain West presidents and athletic directors, well, not athletic directors, they would all pay more if they could pay more, if they had more. That's what Mountain West presidents essentially have to probably decide. And that's what the commissioner's, language when she talks with them, it has to be is, do we want to set ourselves as the best of the rest, or do we want to start trying to kind of, like they did this year, chop into what is those top 5 or 6 conferences. If we want to do that consistently, and we want to have this cute little talk of why can't we be the Big East of the West, well, in the Big East, DePaul just fired a coach, Tony Stubblefield, the interim at NMSU years ago.
Yep.
But DePaul fired a coach. They replaced him with the guy that's getting, I think, in the $2 million range, and that's the worst team in the Big East. And right now, we're talking about the best coaching salary in the mid or in the Mountain West is 2.4, and that's by about $1 million.
$1 million north of everybody else.
There's a gap.
Yeah, he's Jeff Grammer from the Albuquerque Journal.
Jeff, as you go around the conference and all the work you do in these cities, and you just kind of laid it out from the Mountain West perspective of what they are trying to do. What do you think the biggest thing is? Is it so? I just said I think San Diego State obviously like that's the ceiling everyone's chasing, but is it like even if we look at Boise State and just that consistency from Leon Rice, is that kind of what schools are hoping to find?
I believe so. I think if you can get the consistency that Boise State has, yes, you would take San Diego State first off. If you can get the consistency of, let's say, once every 3 years you go into the NCAA tournament, I think that would be a pretty good standard for most Mountain West schools. Now, you say that here, and people don't want to hear that, but the reality is you just went 10 years without an NCAA tournament. What if I told you that was 3 or 4 of the past 10 years that you went to the NCAA tournament? Well, it doesn't sound as bad that way. And as long as you're in the running for that NCAA tournament most years, I think the fan base stays engaged. And all you're hoping for when you're counting you're looking at the bottom line and you're counting pennies is you want a fan base that's engaged through February, because that's when the fans keep coming to games. And as long as they keep coming to games, you're going to hit that $3.5 million in ticket revenue that UNM's hoping to hit every year for men's basketball, which is pretty high, by the way, for a Mountain West level school. So to the point earlier about football, I will say football getting right at UNM would help ease a whole lot of things, and it would just help the finances in general.
Throughout the whole department, man. All right. Jeff Grammer confirmed this morning that his sources, and it's been widely reported now, Richard Pitino is not going to be, as of now, and Jeff, look, it could change in 10 minutes from now, but he's not in consideration anymore. Did he pull his name out? Did they pull his name? Do you know how it went?
No, and that's what. So I don't think, like I said, I don't think an official offer was ever out there. So I don't know if that is one of those, I'll pull out since I know I'm not getting an offer thing, or I'm pulling out just because I don't like what's going on here.
It's taking too damn long, and you guys can't figure it out. And yeah. All right, but Richard Pitino is no longer a candidate for the Louisville job. Hey, great work this morning, getting up early, and always appreciate your contributions to our show. Thank you for doing this last minute and getting some details out. We'll catch up with you soon, but always appreciate it. And follow him. He's a great Twitter follow. What's your Twitter handle?
At Jeff Grammer. Remember, I spelled both of them wrong. GEOFF, Grammer, GRAMMER.
Yeah, you'll find him somewhere. If not, right here on the radio. Appreciate you, man. Great
Thanks,
work.
guys.
All right, see you. All right, thanks to Jeff Grammer for being with us. And just tremendous
Went
content.
through it and got an answer.
Yeah, and by the end, we got a resolution, I think. All right, good stuff. Really good stuff. DC, fingers hurt? You're pushing a lot of buttons back there today.
Very active back here.
All right,
I think I'll
have another donut.
Might have earned that
Thanks to John Traub for bringing donuts and to Bluebell for bringing ice cream. Breakfast, whatever we are. Adrian, great work on the TV side. Jim Rome show is next. Heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On's here at 4. We're back with award-winning radio. Tomorrow morning, we'll start at 7 a.m. Big day for you?
Huge day.
And enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oak,